AITA for ordering food when my children are asleep so I don't have to share. Occasionally when my 4 children go to bed I'll order myself a little something from Uber Eats or DoorDash after a hard day so I don't have to share with the kiddos. Usually since I'm always the first one to wake up I'll put the packing beside the indoor trash can and take it out to the outdoor trash can in the morning. My children ended up waking up first that morning and seen the takeout food packaging and ended up waking me up asking me what I ate and if they could have some. I told them there was none left and I eat it all last night, thought that would be the end of it. Boot after I dropped them off at their dad's for the week. My children stay at their dad's house 1 week out of the month rather than just doing weekends. My children's father ended up spamming my phone with text messages accusing me of misappropriating my children funds he sends every month. My children's father, gives me $100 for each child a month, which is $400 a month, which when it comes to it, it isn't much, but I'm fine with it because he usually makes up with it by buying the children what they need when an issue arises. FYI, nothing is court ordered. I have a job as a daycare worker and use my OWN money I make myself to buy Uber Eats, DoorDash food. He also accused me of being a bad mother because I rather order food for just myself without thinking of my children who were with me at the time and that I should have just waited until they were with him for the night. I had a really bad day that day and just wanted something to cheer myself up, and sometimes food does the trick for me. If I were to order something for everyone it would have cost a lot of money that I wasn't interested in spending, and if I were to share by the time my food got back to me it would have just been the food wrapper. So do y'all think I'm the asshole? AITA for not packing my brother's luggage and letting him get arrested? My parents and brother seem to consider me his servant since he was born. Don't know why though, it's not cultural. We are as homegrown as can be. He is 5 years younger than me and has always been spoiled. Whatever. I got out and got my education. Thanks to my dual citizenship I was able to get a job in Vancouver, Canada in the film industry, and I like to think I'm doing well. My boyfriend here, and we will see where that goes. My parents brought my brother up to visit me last week. My brother is on his gap year and my parents wanted to take him skiing up here. They stayed with me for a couple of days on their way home. It was great to see them even though they tried to turn me into his maid again. On their way home he tried to tell me to pack his bag for him. I politely told him to get ucked. I wasn't in our parents' house and I didn't have to follow their rules. He got angry and just crammed his stuff in his bag. Fun fact about cannabis in Canada. Each province sets their age limit for use. Next door in Alberta you can buy alcohol and weed at 18. In my province there are also signs all over the airport that say not to travel with that over the border even if it's legal in your state. Guess what he had in his luggage? Guess who got in trouble for not being careful about his luggage? My parents are mad at me because I was responsible to let him pack that in his luggage. My brother thinks I'm an asshole for not packing his luggage. And I actually feel quite badly about that idiot getting in trouble. He is a spoiled little jerk, but I do love him. And if he had asked me nicely I would have helped him pack and reminded him of the law. WIBTA if I stopped giving my son driving lessons. My son is a learner driver and currently in driving school, and I have been giving him extra driving practice, which is something he wanted. Earlier on, he was sometimes too hesitant and lacked confidence when merging on the freeway and changing lanes, which can be dangerous if you go too slow or check the mirrors so much that you stop looking ahead. I pointed this out and he is getting better at it. However, at times he still hesitates, and when he does, I would tell him he is driving like a woman. He had no issue with this at all and would correct himself when I said that. I did not mean it in a bad way. My daughter is a great driver, picked up driving naturally and passed her test the first time. He got upset at me all of a sudden and asked me to stop saying that. I have no issue stopping with that remark and replacing it with something else, but I don't appreciate being lectured as if I am sexist when I was just trying to help him, and used the phrase more like an idiom. My wife agrees with me and thinks he was being petty, but my daughter agrees with my son. My son and I used to talk like this all the time when he was younger, but lately he and my daughter have become closer and she is influencing his views. I think maybe it was wrong to say that, but not soul level, since I did not mean it literally. Andy am more bothered about how he lectured me and treated me as if I am a massive sexist than if Hahad just asked me to stop. I have been happily married for many years and I am no sexist. I was considering stopping the extra practice drives and just letting him use his paid instructor. Edit. Okay, I get it. I will stop using the term. That was not the issue anyway. I would have had no problem if he just asked me to do so without accusing me. I was using it more like a quick idiot so he could realize for himself and correct himself, without me telling him what to do, but I get how IT can be considered insensitive. I however definitely do not believe women are bad drivers or anything like that. AITA for leaving for an event without my GF. My 26M, GF, 25F, takes hours to get ready. Her hair is very untamable and that alone takes her marathon an hour to fix. Yesterday we went to a friend's surprise 30th birthday party who I've known my entire life. He was going to show up around 8 p.m. We were expected to be there by then. Even though I repeatedly asked her to start getting dressed hours before the event, she still somehow only started curling her hair at 7:30. I told her I was leaving. She could either tie you for hair and leave with me now or just show up to the party by herself later. She didn't budge and just whined till I got in the car and left. At the party her parents asked me where she was. I told them she was still getting dressed. The surprise was fantastic. Everyone was having a good time and my GF shows up at 8:30. On the way home, she called me immature not only for leaving her but also for telling her parents she was late cause she was getting dressed. According to her, as a couple we are a team, and instead of nagging her to get dressed faster and complaining to her parents, I should have just patiently waited and told everyone we were late because of traffic. It sounds incredibly stupid to me, but I wanted a second opinion. Was I the AmItheAsshole? AITA for calling people by their nicknames without permission. I, 27M, like to be friendly, and I figured that calling people by their nicknames would be a good way to make the friendship feel closer. I've been doing it for a long time, but over the years a few people didn't seem to like it, while others didn't mind at all. Most recently, I saw my colleague's friend call her Nori, so I decided to call her Nori, too. She got angry at me, saying that only her best friend can call her that. I asked her why she'd get so worked up over something so small, and she told me that many people that I call by nickname, without permission, don't like it. I wouldn't mind if someone called me by my nickname like my friends do, and honestly I never felt that many people disliked being called by their nickname. My colleague does seem pretty annoyed, though. AITA? AITA for asking my buddy and his girlfriend to leave a March Madness watch party. Throwaway, my college made the NCAA tournament and it's not a common thing for where I went to school. I have a basement bar and so I invited my friends that went to the same school over for a watch party. There were about a dozen of us core group members plus some spouses and kids. We all went to the same school and half of us are season ticket holders of the basketball team. We are pretty passionate fans. If we made the Sweet 16, we'd consider going out for that. In the lead up, I got a text from one friend saying would be bringing his new girlfriend who I had never met before, which I was fine with. When I host watch parties, they are social events, but we all intently watch and cheer on our school. Everyone shows up early. We are all eating, drinking, and watching all the other games. My buddy shows up with his girlfriend, but they are both wearing our opponent's clothes. It's a what the UCK moment for many of my friends and I won. Our buddy went to school with us, too. He should know better than to bring people rooting for our opponent around at an event like this. I go confront him and say what the hell is this regarding his shirt. He introduces me to his girlfriend and tells me she went to the school we were playing that day. I tell him it's dumb he isn't wearing clothes for the school he went to and told them I appreciate them showing but they should watch the game somewhere else. He seems stunned and goes, I thought it'd be fine. I said if it a regular season game maybe, but not a tourney game. He starts arguing, but I just repeat it'd be better if they left. He starts calling me asshole and continues arguing. I just lead them out of the house. He sent me a few angry texts, but I didn't want people supporting our opponent at this party. I'm aware I may have made a bad impression on his girlfriend, but was I the AmItheAsshole? AITA for telling my wife her expectations for her sister are unrealistic? My wife 28F and I 29M just had our first child together 4 months ago. It's been stressful but fulfilling time in our lives together. The only perceived issue has been how involved my wife's sister P30F has been with the baby. P, to put it simply, is not a baby person. She doesn't want kids but has always been supportive during the pregnancy. My wife thought that she would be more than she is to help take the burden off of us, but she has expressed that having to take care of a baby makes her extremely uncomfortable even just for a couple hours. The thing is, my wife is constantly nagging her to help more every time she sees her sister, so the little help we do get is gone since P is now avoiding us completely. I told my wife, expectations are unreasonable given she's always known how P has felt about kids and she needs to let it go and apologize before we lose P from helping us completely in the future. She's now giving me the cold shoulder because I've picked her sister's side over hers. AITA for refusing to babysit for my stepsister when I babysit for my brother? My brother has 3 kids ages 4 and under and my stepsister has a 7-month-old. I do not have an ongoing relationship with my stepsister. We weren't close when my dad married her mom, and her mom was me dad's affair partner, and she was the kid who thought it was great, so my brother and I didn't really like her for that. She thought we were brats who couldn't accept that her mom was better than ours, and that's why the affair wasn't a bad thing. We ended up choosing as older teenagers to not see our dad anymore. He kept trying to keep us in his life. But he broke our mom's heart and he broke our trust. Plus, he gave us no time to accept our parents breaking up. He left our family home and moved in with his affair partner and married her 3 days after the divorce from mom was finalized. And he was pushing his stepdaughter as our sister. We did stay in touch with our dad's siblings. They have stayed in touch with dad and his new family. About a week ago, they gave my stepsister my contact info, and she asked if I would be able to help her out with babysitting since she heard I do it for my brother. I said no. She tried to pull the card, and I told her we were never family and to ask her parents for help, or the people who gave her my contact info. Then I told my aunts and uncles whoever give her my info was wrong. My aunt who gave it to her said it wouldn't have killed me Togut to know my niece and to help my stepsister when I do it for my brother all the time. I told her the difference is he's my brother and his kids are my nieces and nephews, and my stepsister and her kid are not those things. Stepsister tried to call again, and when I didn't answer, she sent me a text saying I was an AmItheAsshole and she's in need and she knows I do it. I blocked her. She must have told my aunt, who said I was being petty, so now I ask AITA.